Okay guys, so pasta dough, right? I told you about that idea around how to memorize recipes. Recipes are basically a list of things that will help you be successful. But the challenge with a recipe is that quite often it assumes you know stuff or know a bit of stuff that's going to help you to be successful. What I have introduced to you is that when we understand ratios of ingredients, then all of a sudden there's a lot of information we don't need, okay? Pasta dough is a really, really good example of that. So here's a gift for you, the gift of the recipe for pasta dough. Once you know this, you know it for life. There's two guys in this room filming with me today, Russell and Pete, right? And both those guys are going to be like, that's amazing now, I know that recipe for life. It's that simple, okay? So, 100 grams of pasta flour. Pasta flour just really full of gluten-making proteins such as gliadin and glutenin. There's no gluten in there yet. Full of gluten-making proteins, and ultimately that is really good because it's going to help to make that dough really, really stretchy. Okay, so good pinch of salt, grinding those granules smaller, just like we did before. So a good season. Remember, it's just flour, so there's no flavour in that at all. And you know, you could keep it plain. I would challenge you, like, make it plain. You know, you could add other things to it. You could add spinach puree to turn it green. You can add different things. I'm going to add some squid ink powder, about a good teaspoon, which will turn it black. Okay. And then 1 large egg. Okay, I'm making a small amount in a bowl. If you feel happy making it on the table, do that. At this stage, I'm just bringing those ingredients together, and then I'll be onto this piece of slate you can see underneath here. This is really solid, so it's really good for making something like pasta dough. Okay. You know, you could experiment with your pasta dough. You can roll herbs into it. You know, Christmas is coming up, guys. If you haven't got a pasta machine, start thinking about maybe that's a bit of a kit that whoever could get for you for Christmas, you know. So just bringing that dough together. Get everything out of the bowl. And then just really pushing that together. You know, for me as a chef, making doughs, bread, all that business, it's just that connection to ingredients, isn't it, you know? You really start to understand stuff when your hands are in there. That's like why as a kid, you just can't wait to get your hands in the bowl, can you? And, you know, get amongst those ingredients. It's just about connection to those ingredients. You're just bringing that together. And as I said, in the flour, when it's dry, when it starts off in the bowl, you've not done anything to it, there's no gluten. Now, because of the water in the egg, right, because the egg white is quite high in water, what we're doing is we're pushing that dough around. Those two gluten-making proteins, gliadin and glutenin, are sort of bonding together. It's like a web. You're creating that web. The more you push it around, the same with bread dough, the more you push it around, the more it bonds together. Okay? There is an experiment that you can do. If you get some bread dough, you can actually rinse away all the starch and then leave the gluten structure there, and you can actually see it, you know? So just really stretching that around, pushing that around, right with the ball of my hand, you know, pushing down through it. As I said to you, as a chef, there are times when you don't need to use your strength. There are times when you need to be really tactile and gentle because those ingredients can be expensive. You know, treat those ingredients with respect. But ultimately, this is one of those moments where you can just really give it some beef. Just pushing through it. And the more effort you put in now, it's going to be easy when you start to pass it through that pasta machine a little later on. Okay. So there we go. Pasta dough with squid ink. All we're going to do with that now, we're going to wrap it into the fridge for 20 to 30 minutes. Okay. And then we're ready to roll.